Alright, I guess you are wondering how we just arrived at this point you are looking at right here. Alright, if you want to know how we arrived at this point and everything, just keep watching the video. See you in the video. You do not believe I'm recording this video for the second time, and that means I've spent about 2 hours recording just a single video, and only for ugly occurrences to keep happening. But anyway, there's no problem. I'll try my possible best to keep repeating the same point, to keep repeating these points. Alright, this trade was placed like about 3 hours ago, from the first time let's say 2 hours ago, from the first time I started recording the video, this video. You know, at first point I was recording, then my system went off and it wasn't saved. So the second point, my generator just went off. I had to go fix it and then come back. But anyway, that's by the way. That's why they say entrepreneur in Nigeria is a bit of too much struggle. At some point in time, I drew this trend line. Let me see if I can. Can I clear the entire screen in one sweep? I need this off. Delete all. Alright, so today I was talking about, we are looking at volatility 100 in 1 hour chart, and this particular video I'm just going to be quick about it, and I'm going to save it really quick. Alright, since I've gone through these points over and over again, so it should be very simple right now. Alright, so we're talking about volatility, indicators, and I was trying to bring your mind back to the analogies that we've done in the previous classes, like connecting this point here on this candle. What did I just do? Connecting this point here, this 1, 2, 3, 4 points together, and to help you determine when because this market here is going to fall, when the fall will be put to a stop, or whether it will continue beyond the line or it will be put to a stop. And then I also draw this one to determine whether this market is going to fall or is going to rise. And normally when it touches this place, it will bounce up and then come down, and then here it touches it and it's going to rebound. And I told you the level at which it's going to rebound at, which is up to this point here. This trade you're looking at here were actually placed at this point here. Alright, when which normally I wouldn't place a trade here, but it was just for the analogy sake. You know, most people, they place trade, and maybe when you start getting to this point, they'll put it to the stop. Alright, so this trade here was placed here, and at this point here, it is this candle and this one, based on what we saw here and what we saw here, that will not determine whether we are going to place a rise trade or a sell trade. And what was supposed to be placed trade initially was a buy trade, which will eventually end somewhere here. Alright, which will eventually end somewhere here, because based on this analogies, like you can see, this is trying to trace even the M method that we know. This is one arm, another arm, and then the last arm is forming here. Or let's say if you are taking it from this arm, this is one arm, another arm, then it will go up a little bit, then before forming the last arm, which is this side. Alright, and another thing I also took note of was connecting this point here. You can see when this point, using trend line to connect this point and this point here, you can see when there's the trend line touches this point here, there was a great fall all the way down, and when the trend line touches here, there was also a great fall all the way down. and should the trade proceed up to this extent here on the chart, this point here and this point here will determine the next action that should be taken. That's if it's the point, if what occurs here breaks through the trend line, know that it's actually going to fall. But if it's what occurred here at this point here and at this point here, then you know that it's still going to fall. But if it bounces off just the way all these other point bounces off the trend line, then you just know that it's going to rise. But what we are looking at for is this point here. All right, now I was telling you that if you look at it, that's on 1 hour chart. If you look at it on 1 minute, you can see that the analogy is a bit far more different. It's far more different. This is where the trade was entered, and this is the point at which it is right now. Alright, on 1 minute time frame. 15 minutes is a different thing, and so is 30 minutes and 5 minutes altogether. Alright, that my chart is becoming a bit small because I want to see all of it. Alright, so looking at this now, this is to tell you that this in 5 minutes now, this is forming a W, and you know that the W will be at approximately exact as at this point here. Let's take it from here and this way. All right, or in other way around, let's take it this, you can take it this way. All right, so the W will reach somewhere there, and then it will come to a stop. It will reach somewhere there before it will come to a stop. All right, so that's on a 30 minutes time frame, and I wouldn't want to fill the chart with so much drawing. In most cases you have to do that for you to really get your analysis straight. All right, so the market has been kind of a stable one, and this is Friday, and of course you know financial market won't be functioning. All right, so we are looking at that, and a good numbers of ways that you can adjust this your chart, and I was letting you know that you can as well decide to minimize this one of your chart, and you have a full screen like this, or double tap it and then it will all open up. All right, so the next day. All right, so here we are. Yesterday, let's say about let's say 24 hours ago, I made an analysis for some of my students that I'm taking on lectures, and in the bit of the during the lecture we did some analysis, we drew some trend line, and we made some analysis, and like you can see in the video back there before this one here, you can see at this point here I made some clear analysis where this chart will clearly go, and then before it will finally come down, and clearly you can see that it is the same path at which I described that the chart has taken. All right, and looking at this chart right here, to be honest with you, this chart will still go down to as long as this section here. All right, because this one here was a double check in between, and it has gone through that double check, and it will still go down to as much as this level down here. Okay, and when I say most times, I tell people most times that sometimes when you consider trading to be a bit more difficult, I believe there are times that you just should pay keen attention to the chart, because there's a lot that it has to offer in that aspect, and especially when you are paying really good attention at it, and you are trying to understand what it's trying to depict. All right, so let's check out this in different time frame. I analyze all the way back from 1 minute time frame to about 1 hour time frame, and clearly this is where it has gotten us to. All right, and you all know that most times, don't mind all these indicators you are seeing down here, they were just for the lecture purposes. All right, they are just for lecture purposes, and you can see this. All right, normally if you have watched other of my videos, my previous video, even without using the trend line, once the chart has assumed this is an M strategy that you're looking at right here, and an M strategy is not always difficult to recognize or reckon with or trade on. All right, so as long as this chart is concerned, it will go down pretty much, and it will go down to as much as I don't know if I can draw here, to as much as this level here. Yeah, right here, to go down to as much as this level here. And if that is using personal analysis, foresight analysis, and based on experience and what I understand, but using some statistic analysis, and that will be if it goes across this line, it passes this particular trend line that is drawn here, then it will go up to this level. But if it doesn't go past this trend line, then it may rebound around here and then get back to somewhere here where this trade was placed before going down to as much as this level. But on the long run, overall, I'm actually looking at the 1 hour time frame. All right, look at the 4 hours time frame. You discover that is what is going to happen. It will go down really big, like big, all the way down here before it goes back up again. All right, so the other aspect of the trend will tell you more about that, and you understand more about it. So now we are looking at it at one please, if I say H4, H1, you should understand H initial for hour and the M initial for minute. All right, so M1, looking at it on the M1 time frame, trying to get the point at which those trades were entered from. You can say from this point here, I think it's longer, yeah, somewhere down here, down the line here, and it went up as much as this. Okay, you can see the trend line, you can see the way they are looking. This is in the trend line was actually drawn in 1 hour time frame, so it will be looking a lot more big in the 1 minute, but it seems to be a lot, oh my god, what have I done? It seems to be a lot more accurate here in the 1 minute time frame, because you can see it's totally cut across the the candles, I mean the charts, totally cut across it. And if you check the 5 minutes, you see that it's also the same, very much alike. All right, and then 15 minutes, and before we get to the 1 hour time frame in which the trade was officially placed. All right, so I don't know if you all know how to draw trend line very well, and how to not just draw, how to use it to back up your analysis. All right. Most people just use trend line to trade, and they don't have any other backup analysis for the trend line, and they just, okay, trading, it just, let me just draw this, let me just draw that, let me just draw that. All right. So in as much as it's very simple to do and very simple to analyze, you know, there are times whereby everything doesn't really go accordingly, and that is when you need a little bit backup for your analysis. That one you have to use the knowledge you have already, or your intuitiveness to, you know, handle the market. All right. So let me know if you understood how I really arrived at this. If you don't understand, comment and ask for any point, anywhere you want me to make a video, and then I'll solely make that video for you. Okay. So thank you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe, and make sure that you hit the notification bell button so that you can receive notification each time I upload a video. See you in my next video.